Hello students, this is the video that accompanies your job materials packet assignment. I'm going to try to go through the assignment pretty quickly and then show you a bunch of resources that will be valuable to you as you complete the assignment. So on the screen right now is the assignment prompt. You will see the due dates there on the screen. This is the video that I created in fall 2018, so if you're watching it in a future semester, please be sure that you consult the due dates on your own assignment prompt. This prompt has a purpose statement which tells you my basic goals for the assignment. Please read every word I write in this assignment because you want all the information. And then I have a section called details, which goes through all of the things you'll need to complete in this assignment. You're going to be basically completing 4 things for this assignment. The first one is to create an annotated job ad. So you have to search the Society for Technical Communication website, and I give you the address here on the screen for the careers component of that website. You're going to want to go there and look at the jobs that are currently available. I'm going to go through that with you in a minute. Once you find a job ad that appeals to you, you're going to paste that information into a Word document and you're going to annotate it, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Next, after you hone in on a job ad that interests you, you're going to write an application letter. You're going to follow the model in your textbook, and I'm going to show you that model as well, and how to understand what Markel and Selber are telling you to do in the textbook. Third, you're going to write your resume. You are going to be writing a chronological resume, not a skills resume. Every time I assign a resume, students make a mistake and sometimes do a skills resume when they really should be doing a chronological resume. In almost all instances for college students, you should be doing a chronological resume. If, however, you have extensive work experience because you're a non-traditional student, you may do a skills resume, and I just ask that you contact me if that's what you plan on doing. I will go over the resume with you also in a minute. Finally, I'm asking you to do a multimodal component. Your book talks about creating a brand, which is creating an identity for yourself that is conveyed through your job materials that is distinctive and unique. To help you create a brand, I'm going to ask you to create a website, create a video, maybe even do a podcast resume. You can do something creative that is not just alphabetic text on a piece of paper. You need to do some video, audio, multimedia type of creation that will accompany your job materials. So that is the 4th component. So then on the assignment, I go through the summary of requirements. The first 3 items need to be included in a single PDF document. So you'll just attach that document when you submit it via Learn. And then in the component of the Learn submission pane where you can type in your own text, you'll just provide me a URL to whatever the multimedia accompaniment is that you created. So this assignment is worth 100 points, 25 for each of these required components. I will share with you a very detailed Excel spreadsheet that I use that has each of these 25-point allocations broken down into minute components. 5 points for this, 3 points for this, 10 points for this. So then that all will add up to 100 points. So listed at the bottom here of the assignment prompt are the URLs for all of the resources that I use in this video. So you can go to the prompt directly and Learn and click through these resources on your own time. Okay, so first thing I want to direct your attention to is in your textbook. What I'm showing you right now is the ebook version of the textbook, which I have as your instructor, but you all have the hard copy book. But this is in chapter 15. You will find it in chapter 15, which you were required to read for the class. So what you see here is an example of an application letter. This is a sample that has all kinds of annotations on the side that tell you what this job letter is doing and why. So please look carefully at the examples in your textbook of a sample job letter and make sure yours looks very much like this. Multi-paragraph style, has a signature, has all of the different spacing that's required, and does different things in different paragraphs. I'm asking you basically to make sure that it's well organized. There's a section in your textbook also about writing a resume. Again, I'm showing you the ebook, but you'll be looking in your hard copy book. Writing resumes, you'll see there's 2 options here. Chronological skills, and then plain text is basically just an easily scannable version of one of those two types. I'm asking you to write a chronological resume. In your chronological resume, you will be including various aspects of your history, starting with your education. I'm asking that you elaborate on your education in your resume, and there are many ways to do that well, and they are shown here in this example, which is shown on the screen right now. This is just page 1 of the student's resume, but you see it starts out with a block of text that is the identifying information, location information. Please feel free to make up information there if you don't want to share your actual accurate details with your classmates and me, that's fine. You'll have a summary statement. The textbook gives you instructions on how to write that clearly and powerfully. Then there's education. You're all currently enrolled in college, so you will be providing information on an in-progress educational pursuit, and that's fine. You can put here that your expected graduation date. You would write expected graduation, and you would put the date. Here, this student is an electrical engineering student, and so he's listing some related coursework to his degree. If you volunteered, or if you've had other employment, or you're doing research with a professor, you can list all of that in designated categories here. Honors and organizations is what is listed last on here. That is where you would include awards that you've received, honors that you've received, and other volunteer organizations that you are a part of. Okay, I'm going to try to make this video as succinct as I can, but there's a lot of information for me to convey. So I've covered the job letter and I've covered the resume here. Now what I want to show you is how you're going to hone in on the job that you want to pretend to apply for in this assignment. So here is the STC. This is the link that I provide you in the assignment prompt. This is their careers portal, careers.stc.org, and I haven't put in any keywords because there are 79 jobs for technical writers listed, so I didn't really feel like we needed to whittle that down. But if your interest is in user-centered design, you could put that in here. If your interest is in editing, you could put that in here and further hone down this list. But I've pulled a few out of just the first page here to show you in more detail. But it's a good idea for you guys to look through this list more carefully because it'll give you a sense of the scope of what tech writers do and professional writers do. Some of it is very technical and dealing with software. Some of it is dealing with text that was written by someone else in terms of procedures, documents, and manuals, and editing those. So it'll give you a sense of the field if you look through some of these. Now the ones that I've pulled for you I've pulled 3. This is Tech Writer for PBG Consulting. They are a contracting agency, a consulting firm. So if you sent in a job ad to this company and you were the chosen candidate, you would then be actually working for, actually that's a different one. Let's see, I guess it's this one. I'm sorry about that. This is for a contracting agency, and they would be placing you with a manufacturing company. So anyway, this one is pretty easy to understand. All of these required skills should be comprehensible to you. What I ask you to do in the first part of the assignment is copy a job ad, like so. You would just Command C or right click and copy and paste that information into a Word doc. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Once you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to focus on bits of information that you don't understand. This one, it's pretty understandable, so there shouldn't be a lot there that you would have to, except maybe, what is Microsoft Visio? You might not know what that is. Anyway, some of the other ones that I've included here provide some more information that you might not know. What is a CPTC certified practitioner? You might want to know what that is. What is that certification? But this one is for a Department of State savvy technical writer. So you would have to know what the Department of State style standards were. So that's something you might not know right now. What are some of the other skills that they're asking? You would have to read through this and ask yourself, do I know what that is? Do I know what a secret clearance is? And what you're going to do then is highlight all of this as I just showed you, and you're going to copy that text, and then you're going to create a blank Word document, and you are going to, sorry, mine's taking a second, you're going to paste that content in, which is what I've done here in mine. You'll perhaps want to reformat it so all the font is the same. You know, sometimes that gets a little bit messed up when you paste in from an HTML page. So as you can see here, we've got some content, and as I mentioned, you might not know what a secret clearance is. So do something to add commentary into this. You can either do it just in brackets, what is this? And then what you would do is highlight that perhaps in red text. That would mean that that is you asking that question. That's one way to annotate, or you can insert a comment. There you go, or a footnote. New comment, there we go. New comment, footnote, however you want to annotate this document. The other thing I ask you to do in the assignment is after you've gone through your job ad is answer these questions. Why is it appealing to you? What did they expect this employee to do? And does that surprise you at all relative to what you thought of the field? So what you could do is at the bottom of the document that you've created with the job ad, just paste those questions at the bottom and answer them. Just go through and say, this ad is appealing to me because, and then you would just answer that for me. What do they expect this employee to do? And you would say, the prospective employer expects, and then you would tell me what that is. Anyway, so answer all of those questions as clearly as you can. At the top of this is the first page of your assignment, so at the very top you'll probably want to put your name, and you want to be sure you paste in the location and the job title and the company that is releasing this ad. Anyway, okay, so here we go. Now, I've included at the bottom of your assignment links to many tech writers' personal websites, and this is to help you think about the multimodal component that you're going to be creating. I want you to look at these websites. This is one for a woman named Karen Rempel. This is her website. It's got a picture of her. She has a little bit of an about me, and she talks about her skills. This is a great blog by a guy named Tom Johnson. I visit this blog pretty regularly, but he is an active blogger, but he also works for Amazon Web Services, I believe, and he talks about his skills. Here's another tech writer. She's a recent college graduate, so hers is perhaps similar to what you might produce. And she created hers on WordPress. You can see that right up here at the top. And that's what many of you will probably choose to do, is just go to WordPress and create a free website through WordPress. You might go to Google Sites and create yours through Google Sites. I don't care how you do it. Here's another web page that I included as a resource just because for aesthetic reasons, these are really powerfully designed personal websites. And you can just look through all of these just to get an idea of why this aggregator of websites thinks that these ones are really good. So if you read through this, you might say, oh, those are popularly acclaimed tactics for having a good website. Maybe I'll use some of those tactics. Here is Amanda Blackwell. She's a tech writer. Here's her website. And here is Mandy Ellis. So there's several that I include, and Karen Rutherford. What I want you to do is create one page. You do not have to create the whole site. You need to create a single page, the landing page, if you choose to do a website. But this is pretty simple. She's got her name, she's got a picture, and she's got about me. And this was also, I think, created this was created by Squarespace. So there's many free ones that you can use. Now the last thing I want to show you in this video is another option for a multimodal accompaniment. If you don't want to do a landing page for a website with a free website builder, you could create a video curriculum vitae or resume. You can watch these on your own time, but this one is pretty long. It's 5.5 minutes, which is much longer than I would advise you to create. But this is by a guy named Steven Silverstone. He's a technical writer out of Israel. This is his CV or his resume as presented in a video form. Here's another one. This is Dmitry Marushka. He's a PhD and he's a tech writer. I will tell you, this one is very short if you compare it with the previous one, only 48 seconds long. You might see that there are huge differences between that long one and this short one in terms of comprehensibility. This person uses a lot of acronyms that will not be familiar to people outside his core area of knowledge. And maybe that's not so good, but maybe this guy provided too much illumination, too much elucidation of details. You can decide based on looking at the two of these. The third one that I have included is this one. Tells hers as a story. She is a recent graduate of University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I'd love for you to watch this whole thing. It's 3 minutes long, but she includes not only static images, but a lot of video and excellent music and narrating voiceover. All of these you can do with Microsoft Movie Maker or with iMovie on a Mac. You can watch a tutorial on Google for how to do that, but I want you to start playing around with some of these technologies to try to build a multimodal accompaniment for your standard job search materials. So I've gone through a lot of information here in this video, and we'll go back to the assignment itself. Remember, the first page is the annotated job ad. The second page is the application letter, and the third page is the resume. And you're going to include all of them in a single document, and then you're going to save it, save as, you're going to save it as a PDF, and you're going to submit it to me in Learn, and you're going to include the URL link to your multimodal accompaniment also. I hope that this assignment has been easy to understand as I've presented it in this long video. Feel free to watch the video again or contact me with any questions that you have.